Hello, everyone. Today is Friday morning, April 3rd. I'm in Schweisguth. Here at SWCTC, we're going to be putting a series of virtual interviews together. We're going to be talking with local legislators, with representatives from the business community, and city officials. Today, joining me is the mayor of Cottage Grove, Myron Bailey, as well as the City of Cottage Grove's Parks and Recreation Director, Zac Dockter, and the Public Works Director and City Engineer, Ryan Burfeind. Thank you all for joining me today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, we're currently in a state of a stay-at-home order in the state of Minnesota. Mayor Bailey, how are operations at the city functioning right now?
Thank you. Well, the city did declare a state of emergency prior to the stay-at-home order by the governor. And what that has done is we have closed our city hall and the lobby for the police department. However, city functions are still happening. We do have employees that are working remotely from City Hall. We have employees that are doing what I'll call varied shifts. Normally they work during the day, sometimes now they're working at night, so that we're not having everybody together in one place at City Hall. Obviously, in the public safety side of things, police, fire, EMS is all still functioning. We just closed the lobby at the police department just to make sure that we don't have people congregating together. However, if people have any questions or anything, they're welcome to contact or make a phone call to the police department. Or, of course, if there's an emergency, absolutely call 911.
So things are still happening, you're just more closed with public coming into places.
Absolutely. So if you have permits or you have questions about your water bill or anything like that, we are still there. There's somebody's going to pick up the phone and answer it, and we will help you. We're just obviously limiting the person-to-person contact.
Okay, that makes sense. Ryan, over at Public Works, I see you're still filling potholes and street sweeping. What's different at Public Works and what's still the same?
Thanks, Dan. So similar to City Hall, the building is closed to the public. However, we still have folks in our front lobby who can take calls from residents if they see issues. We still encourage people to call in through 458-2808 when they have issues. Overall, what Public Works does is very important for the city. Maintaining our streets, our water sewer system, our water treatment plants, and we're still going about our regular duties and doing that. We have split up our crews a little differently, especially during the stay-at-home order, where we have them in two different split shifts. So only half of the crew is reporting in a given day. But to do that, we've kind of spread their hours out throughout the week. So even though they're kind of working regular time, residents may notice they're out a little bit later at night, and they're actually out on the weekends as well, just to have less people reporting at a given time. Also in the office, the people who can are working from home to try and follow the governor's order and continue to keep our social distance and have less people in the office at a given time. A lot of our work that we plan this time of year, we are going to continue with, like street sweeping. That's going to take place the week of April 6th. That's a very important thing we do, where we sweep all the streets throughout the entire city, pick up all those leaves, all that debris from the winter time. And if we don't do that in that April time frame, that can get into our storm sewers, into our storm ponds, and then down to the river. So that's a really important thing that we do. And when we do that next week, I know there's more people working from home. So we are asking folks when they can to not park on the street during that week of April 6th. But other than that, you'll still see our crews out and about and going about their business and doing those essential activities, to keep the public works operation running.
Well, I'm sure everybody definitely appreciates the potholes still being filled.
Definitely. Yeah, that's important.
Yep. Zac, a lot of people want to know about parks. What's going on in the parks? What can people do? What should people not be doing?
Hi, Ann. Thanks. Yeah, we firmly believe that enjoying the outdoors is a critical tool to managing our community's health, and that's both with and without the COVID virus. So with the spread of the COVID virus, we are taking unique measures in an attempt to protect our park users and our community as a whole. So not just the people using the parks, but the people that they may be congregating with beyond that. So in general, all of our city parks and trails are open for the public. When using the parks and trails, we are trying to abide by, or we are asking people to abide by the stay-at-home and social distancing guidelines, and those are expected to be adhered to. So activities like walking, hiking, even in the spring, kite flying and fishing are great examples of activities that we continue to encourage. Things courts and the dog park and the disc golf course are open. Picnic shelters and other areas where congregating typically takes place we're trying to discourage use of those places. And then there's closures, such as the public restrooms, buildings, and playgrounds are all closed just because of the heavy use that they typically take on, and then also the congregating behaviors that are synonymous with those facilities. So we continue to watch the CDC guidelines, government orders, and even watch what our neighbor cities, the cities around the state, and then also even the National Parks and Recreation Service agencies are all doing to manage COVID-19 and trying to learn from others as well. So what we're doing today may change tomorrow, but I assure you we're diligent in our research and are working to keep the community safe in our parks and public spaces. And we hope residents take precautions on their own to do the same when they're visiting our parks.
I didn't think about kite flying. I'm glad that you brought that up. So I'm going to put that on my list.
Absolutely. Have fun.
I will. What about the Ice Arena and the River Oaks Golf Course?
So per the governor's order, the Ice Arena and River Oaks Golf Course are both closed until May 1st. At any point, if those orders are lifted, we are prepared to open those facilities to the public. However, social distancing measures and policies will likely be in place. So we hope that our customers will understand and have patience with us because it might not be business as usual when we restart. And then hopefully we'll work towards more normalcy as we beat the spread of the virus. So I'm just looking for, we'll look for changes on that in the near future.
Okay. Ryan, I heard the Public Works spring cleanup has actually been postponed.
That's right, Ann. And as much as it pains us to do that, we know that's a well-attended event. Because of that, we get over 1,000 up to 1,300 residents attending. We did decide to postpone that. We are still planning to hold one in 2020, but we're looking at a fall cleanup instead. So I'm looking to provide the same services that residents have grown accustomed to over the years with that cleanup, but really felt that following the social distancing guidelines and the orders that are out from the state right now, it was appropriate to do that. So right now we'll be, working on with all of our contractors and the county, our other partners, to move that date. And as we get more information on it, we will put that out to residents through various ways on Facebook and different messaging to let them know when that new date will be and how that will operate. So more to come on that in the future.
Okay, I know that's a very popular event. I know that the compost site is open. Rumpke Companies did open that, correct?
Yep, I believe they are open. That's kind of consistent with other compost sites, I think in the metro area that were deemed essential. So I think they opened up on April 1st. So if residents are getting some of those outdoor activities done and following social distancing, they can use the compost site. Okay,
thanks for that. Myron, talking about social distancing, let's talk about city meetings like city council. How is that different now?
Yeah, it is, and thank you. It is quite different. We've actually had a couple council meetings and actually one planning commission meeting where we are using similar to what we're doing here with Zoom, where the public, first of all, the public can watch and participate through a computer. So because again, City Hall is closed, but business still needs to go on. What has happened is usually I'm in the council chambers as the mayor and maybe one other council member at a minimum of 6 feet away. And then the rest of the council members have been calling in as part of this, the meeting, remote meeting process. And so far it's worked very well. And I do know that we've had citizens actually ask questions through this process. So we do know that our citizens still have access to us, obviously, and also to ask questions during any meeting that we have. So it is definitely a different way. The council chamber is kind of weird to look out and see it very empty. We limit our staff members in there to just a couple. Even our attorney is doing it remotely, coming in remotely, our director of public safety and so on. So it is important that we set the right example as public officials for the rest of the public to make sure that we're also abiding by the social distancing and we're still getting the job done for the citizens.
And of course, people can still watch those meetings on the City of Cottage Grove's YouTube channel and on cable channel 16.
Absolutely, and I encourage them to do so because one of the things that I will mention that we are doing During all of these meetings during this time is our Director of Emergency Services, Gwen Martin, is giving us an update at the beginning of the council meeting. So if the public is interested to know what's going on, they're welcome to tune into those council meetings and see what the update is.
And how do people get more information about how to participate in the Zoom and when the meetings are?
Good question. You can go onto our city's website, and there is links and information on there. And I would also tell you that we definitely put it out on various social media platforms. So Facebook tends to be the most popular, and you can actually watch it through Facebook too at this time. Or obviously you could go to SWCTC TV. I think I got that right. And you can link up on there so you can see it from their services too.
We always appreciate the plug.
There you go. There you go.
Is there anything else you guys want people to know about what's going on right now?
Well, I guess I'll start and then see if those guys want to jump in. My comment would be just remain calm, be kind to one another. One of the other things that we are offering as an opportunity for the public is if you want to have somebody checked up on, our police and fire will go in and do a welfare check. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an elderly person. It can be somebody that's, a friend or whatever that you're trying to get a hold of, and we'll do it. You just got to give us a phone call. That information also is on our city's website and also on Facebook. And then starting this week, going forward, thanks to the help with you, Ann, and your team there, I'll be doing weekly updates to the public during this time, just to keep them up to date on what's going on within the city and how we're handling the coronavirus. And so I would just mention that that's another option to get information out to the public, so people don't have to be afraid and just work together. And we will get through this. We're better than this thing, and we'll beat it, and we'll move forward.
Excellent. And your weekly updates will come out every Thursday morning, I believe.
Yes, every Thursday morning. So again, I saw my first one here yesterday, and we'll continue to keep those updates happening and informing the public of any changes or issues going forward.
Excellent. I'm sure people really appreciate those updates.
Yes, I've heard positive comments. I think the biggest challenge, I would maybe throw it into Zac here, might be dealing with kids playing on playground equipment or basketball courts or the skateboard park, I guess, seems to be the biggest questions I'm getting from citizens right now. And how are we handling it? And every Friday, I should mention, the city staff along with council get together on a similar meeting like this and just discuss what are maybe some of our issues of concern that we need to troubleshoot. And that will be a topic that I know Zac and I have already talked about this morning that we're going to need to discuss to see if we need to do a little bit more to tighten up those areas there, because we certainly don't want this virus to spread. And we do know that people love our parks and our kids love the play equipment. But when parents aren't around, sometimes they'll do things that maybe they shouldn't do. And it isn't that you got to fault the kid, they just don't know, or they're not aware of the consequences. So we got to figure out how we can help with that when the parents aren't there.
That's a great question, Zac. How is the city dealing with that?
Thanks, Ann. And I'm going to follow the mayor's lead on that. The be kind and be calm. I think that's the critical element here. Is there is going to be some congregating, and we have to be careful of judging other people, because our goal is to have people social distance and keep that 6 foot of separation. But that's different for my example. When I take my family of 6 to the park, people might see that as social, or as not abiding by the social distancing, but we also live together 24 hours a day. So that's a little bit different. So I just ask people to be careful in their judgments, but if they do see issues where there's large crowd gatherings, to let us know, and we'll try to do our best to work through those things. But sometimes, what people see and what people perceive as being a bad thing is not always such a bad thing. And we just, like I said, we want to encourage people to get out and use the parks, because we know how important that is to social and physical health. So encourage that and encourage to be happy, healthy. Like the mayor said, be calm, be kind, and just let us know when you think there's issues, and we'll do our best to address them.
Okay, and it really is great to see all the people that are walking outside and making the wonderful chalk drawings. So, people want to get out, and it's the perfect time to do that.
There's so much positivity. It really is. I mean, the amount of use and like I've said over and over, 99% of the use is so positive and so good. So let's make sure we remember that and not focus so much on the 1%. We'll deal with the 1% as we need to, but really there's just a lot of positive use, and people are smiling and waving at each other and doing their best to support themselves and their community. So that's really, really nice to see.
That's great. Ryan, do you have any last things to say here?
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on that. And I know my family, we get out for walks every opportunity we can, and seeing other families out and everyone using our trails more than you've ever seen before. I think that's kind of one positive thing, and people, spending time together more as a family and getting some of that activity. So that's a good thing. And then just reassure everyone, what we do down in Public Works with our water and sewer, water treatment plants, that's number one, and we're going to continue to operate those. And we have detailed plans in place that we can continue to operate those even if we get short on staff. So that's an important thing for us down in Public Works and what we do for the city. So, and continue to let people know, call 458-2808 if you ever have any issues or questions, 24 hours a day.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everybody who's an essential worker out there, including the people at the city level. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. It's been a really great conversation, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
Have a great
Thanks.
day.
You too.